Yeah, welcome back to Wembley Stadium. Less than 2.5 hours now until kick-off in the Carabao Cup final between Arsenal and Manchester City. Gary Neville joins me now. Gary, it is the top two teams contesting this final for the very first time in the 66th final. It's incredible to think of that. It's great for the competition though, isn't it?
It is, and I have to say over the last 10, 15 years, maybe 20 years, a massive resurgence in this competition. It's such an exciting final. A lot of people say it's because it's brought forward in the season, it's the first trophy up for grabs, but some great managers and great teams have started off on their journey by winning this game, and Mikel Arteta will be hoping that that's the case for him today. Pep Guardiola, unprecedented success in this competition, so yeah, a great game to look forward to.
Who needs this more and who's under more pressure? Because has that answer changed from like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago?
I don't know. I think for Arsenal, there was a mention over there just talking to a few of the players saying that, would Mikel Arteta, obviously he's going to maybe put Kepa in goal, but City will put Trafford in as well, so that'll equalise each other out. But would Mikel Arteta make a few more changes? And I said, how can he? I said, Arsenal need a trophy desperately, and this is a trophy that really can set you off on the way. You don't want to let City off the hook. They're a little bit on the ropes in the sense of they've gone out of Europe. Arsenal are in Europe, the 9-point lead in the Premier League. So this is a real opportunity for Arsenal today to hit home. And for Pep Guardiola, the opposite. Obviously, he wants to win a trophy. He doesn't like, obviously, going for periods without trophies, but also he wants to try and leave one on Arsenal ahead of that game at the Etihad in a few weeks. I don't think you can call it in terms of who it's more important for. I think both.
There's a narrative that whoever wins, it can be used as a springboard, as a platform for the rest of the season to achieve bigger and better things. But when I spoke to Mikel Arteta on Friday, he wasn't even thinking about that. This is a one-off, get some silverware.
Look, I think it could do, but that's only in the minds of the players and maybe, fans. Would Arsenal fans today get a little bit nervous in the Premier League if City beat them? Well, I'm not sure. It's down to ultimately how you lose a game, I think, like this. And I don't think it'll be a game whereby, I actually think Arsenal are going to win. I just think they've got the edge right now. But you talk about mentality. A game can have an impact in terms of further outcomes within a season. But Arsenal have demonstrated this year that they've been really resilient. They've had some knocks along the way and they've come back from them. And we know City just aren't quite where they were right now, but you can never write Pep Guardiola off.
The managers are very close. They've got a great friendship. The players, not so much. There's a bit of needle there. There's a clash of styles as well, you could say, between the two clubs. With that in mind, do you think that clash is going to be the ingredients for a classic, or maybe not?
I think an early goal could help it. I don't think... It could be a bit of a struggle of a game, a heavyweight battle where they're slugging it out with each other and just trying to find space. I hope it's a classic. I hope that there is... I don't want the top two teams in the league to get on with each other. You shouldn't get on with each other. It should be a bitter rivalry, really. Of course there's respect, and you actually respect what City have done, and I'm sure City will respect the fact that Arsenal now are doing well and they're on the tails. But you can't like each other, in my mind, whilst you're playing against each other and going for titles. There has to be that element of fight and desire, and whilst you say the managers get on, maybe they do privately, but I suspect Pep Guardiola, he's got an obsessiveness to him, and so has Mikel Arteta, that they'll be desperate to win.
Just finally, Gary, you won the treble with Manchester United back in 1999. Arsenal are going for multiple trophies, maybe an unprecedented quadruple. Are you seeing any kind of similarity, the way they play, maybe not, but mentality-wise, between your United and this Arsenal?
I think it's a little bit early for that. We were maybe further ahead in our journey. We'd won multiple Premier League titles. We'd hit the post, as you would say, in the Champions League and got to semi-finals and quarter-finals many times. I feel like if Arsenal can win today and win the Premier League title, that would be a very, very special season. Anything beyond that would be absolutely spectacular. Beyond words, really, because it's they haven't won a trophy for 5 or 6 years. They haven't won a Premier League title together. This is a group of players actually now, because they're a different group of players that won that FA Cup a few years ago. They haven't won together yet. So I think it's getting ahead of ourselves to start talking about trebles and quadruples, but this is a massive opportunity for Arsenal today. Being up there at Wembley is really special. Having that medal around your neck, there's no feeling like it, irrespective of the tournament, and then it'll give them a confidence potential to go on and win the Premier League, which is a big one.
Good afternoon and welcome to Wembley Stadium. Less than 4.5 hours now until kick-off in the Carabao Cup final, where the first silverware of the season will be decided. Arsenal against Manchester City. Arsenal, believe it or not, haven't won this trophy since this man lifted it back in 1993. Tony Adams.
Correct.
very, very good to see you.
Thank you.
Can you actually believe it's been 33 long years?
Yeah, well, it's changed. The competition's changed. You know, it's been a development league for a while, and when I first got in to football, we were out of Europe because of the Heysel for 85 to 1990. So there was only 3 trophies, not like the Arsenal going for the quadruple today, but we could only win 3, and so it's a much more prestigious kind of trophy in those days. So when I finally got my hands on it, and I must say that in '87 when I first lifted the League Cup, we beat Tottenham in the semi-final.
Get that one in.
Yeah, exactly. Had to do that. And then we beat Liverpool when Ian Rush, scored. He always wins, but they didn't on that occasion, and we happened to win 2-1. But it galvanised that squad. We knew, we had the belief then to go on and win more and more stuff. And I'm hoping that the current squad take it on board and win this League Cup today, and then go on and on from there to win more and more stuff, because they've got the quality. They're a fantastic squad now.
I want to remind you of this, but for those who haven't got such a long memory, the cup wasn't the only thing that you lifted over your shoulders in '93, was it?
Yeah.
Just to remind everyone what happened.
Well, Stevie Moore won the game for us. A lot of people don't, and I went to him and I lifted him up, and he fell off the back of me, and it still hurts him to this day. I saw him recently, and he's saying, "Oh, it's still painful." And I said, "But you got the goal, and we wouldn't even be talking about this if I hadn't done that." Everyone would have forgotten Stevie Moore won the League Cup for us. So I don't think he's particularly grateful for me throwing him over his shoulder. But he was brilliant. Don't get me wrong, we went for the European Cup Winners' Cup the year after, and he played in that squad. He's a very good player for us. He did amazing things. He recovered from it, and we're still friends, weirdly.
I think he's here today, so you might be able to say hello to him. Look, Tony, there has been a narrative this season in particular about the way Arsenal are playing. There's been the phrase set-piece FC. They won't be beloved champions if they do win the league. Do you think it is a fair assessment, or is it a bit harsh on Arsenal?
I don't really care.
I think that's what they say.
I go back to the George Graham era. We'd do anything. We knew how to win football games. We were so the word resilient comes up, and I said earlier about the '87 and that squad that George put together and the kids that were playing in that period. We were so resilient. I'm going to say it again. George that's his words. And first and foremost, and we won a lot of games. I scored up that end to win the derby against Tottenham. We won so many games here. 1-0, being resilient, getting a set play. We had Righty as well that nicked us a goal now and again. But we set our stall out not to get beat first and foremost. And be well defensively. And weirdly, the only time Arteta's won anything, it's been when he came here in the FA Cup. We were super. The whole team, I'm not talking about just the defence, the whole team was so resilient. They're so resilient on the day. And that's why we went. And I think it served him today to get over the line, to play well defensively today, get a scrappy corner and Gabriel goes and nicks it and happy days, you know what I mean? So get over the line first and then worry about what people say is irrelevant.
Do you see those comparisons then between the George Graham team that you played under and this Arsenal team? Because their defence, they're celebrating clearances like their goals, aren't
Absolutely, I love it to death. And you've got Declan in there and Zubimendi. You underestimate that. I became a very good central defender when I had Patrick Vieira and Manu Petit in front of me. When you've got Declan playing how he's playing and Zubimendi, and it's the amount of quality players we've got in the squad as well. This squad's going to win a lot of stuff in the next couple of years, please, guys, and I'm so excited. I'm seeing goals from set plays, a little bit too much pushing them, Joan, but we worked a block here on Tottenham, like I said, to win the FA Cup in '96. I got a goal up the other end against Holland in the Euros in '88 when Don Howell did a little bit of a block session, and I blocked for Andy Linnigan when he scored the winner here. So it don't matter about that stuff, but you have to be resilient. There you go. I'm going to tell you again.
Their two central defenders are getting a lot of plaudits, Gabriel and William Saliba.
Yeah.
A peak Tony Adams, if you're in this team, who would you want alongside you?
Oh, they're fantastic players. I was very, very lucky that I played with some great partners. You know, Terry Butcher for England, but you know, I had Dave O'Leary at the start, Stevie Bold, and went Martin Keown, and then Sol Campbell at the end of my career. Phenomenal partnerships, because it's not about the individual, it's about the partnership, and it's about your fullbacks, and it's about the people in front as well. So these two are very, very good, and they're getting better and better and better. I would like to say that I was when I last lifted it, I was 20 though, but there's a little bit of a difference. But no, I think they're brilliant. What one would have had alongside me? I could have adapted. You know, Dave O'Leary didn't make a tackle in 722 games. He jockeyed everyone. He was a bit like a Saliba. Yeah. You know, he's like a Saliba. So I played and I became the one that would go and hit Haaland and leave David and Saliba to go there. So I'd be Gabriel. But likewise, with Stevie Bold, he's more like Gabriel, and I floated around him and played the sweeper role. So it's about partnerships, and they're a great partnership because they've got different qualities.
Just finally, Tony, there's not long till kick-off. What's your head and your heart saying to you about today's game, and is it saying the same thing?
I always, my heart, the Arsenal always says 1-0 to the Arsenal. You know, I think I'd really pray that we actually go on from that and put a fantastic performance in and get a bit of revenge from 2018 when we didn't actually turn up here, you know, and we lost 3-0 against Man City. So if we got a bit of revenge and you know, play them off the park as well as being resilient, then that's the icing on the cake. That's my heart. My head's telling me still, yeah, actually we need to cross the line. I think we're the better squad and the better team. I think Arsenal win all the way.
Right, fantastic. Just great timing there, Tony. Thank you.
All right, Gooners, the time is almost here. Let's conquer this long-awaited title. Leave a like on this video, and if you're new here, subscribe so you don't miss the next videos. Big hug and came on your Gooners.